On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
While we're talking about this, I'm thinking about like, how can we say it's okay for infidelity within a marriage, but it's not okay to support a child who may be gay? Like, how is this like
What
the
are you
cognitive
talking
dissonance?
about, Kay? What
Kay,
are
like
you talking
Kay.
about?
Just let me finish talking and you'll maybe
All right.
understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, really?
I am a C
what I'm-
student. You are right.
What I'm talking about is all this infidelity, all these kids all over the place, all of these things are definitely negatively affecting our communities, definitely negatively affecting people. But that's cool. Like, how? How is that okay?
All right, y'all. If you're just tuning in to Lapeef, Let's Talk, welcome. Gonna take time out right now. Make sure you guys get them likes up right now. Also, make sure you subscribe. Moving on to our next topic, which is it's okay for him to play as long as he takes care of home. It's okay for him to play as long as he takes care of home. You okay, brother? I see you turned your head a little bit.
Hey. Yeah, I'm super Gucci.
Yeah. So, back in the day, I think folks need to understand that as long as the man took care of home, everything was okay. A lot of women back in the day didn't trip if the guy went out and play because he was the provider, he was the protector, and as long as he took care of home, you can get through anything. Nowadays, it seems like it's the other way around. So I kind of want to dive into this topic and get you guys' thoughts on it. It's okay for him to play as long as he takes care of home. Start with you, Rilla.
Yeah, man. I think we've kind of touched on this before, and I remember watching this vignette on another platform where the content creator talked about, having a side chick and things of that nature is a rich man's game, right? And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from that. I often say, hey man, this is, and I'm assuming I could be wrong. I mean, when you say it's okay for him to play, we could be talking about it's okay for him to go out and gamble. It's okay for him to indulge in other vices, So I don't want to assume, but
I'm gonna tell you when I say play, I'm referring to other women.
Yeah, so I assume, and if we're talking about with other women, my personal stance on it is, shoot, it's enough for me to maintain with one, let alone try and juggle this one. I think it's important what you point out. Back in the day, yeah, the man was the head of the house. He was the breadwinner. He was the prophet, priest, king of his home. He was the protector and provider of his home. The woman solely depended on him. He was, everything, right, under the sun, and she depended on him solely. And so when he stepped out, it wasn't necessarily because, she was cool with it. It was just, where else you gonna go? What else you gonna do? You got to maintain this, that, and the third, blase skip, woo, woo, woo. Now, I would refer back, and I defer because I understood that vignette that I watched on that other platform about, having a side chick is a rich man's game. That's a rich man's game. Having a side piece, and we just saw that unfold with the Bill Gates of the world. We see that unfold every day with all these different situations with people who have means and access and influence and affluence, right? And so, when you talk about it's okay for him to play as long as he takes care of home, I think it's more incumbent on the men who are playing to understand that you got to pay the cost to be the boss. And if you as long as you taking care of the crib and that's the rules that you lay down, and I think we talked about this before too, I think it's important to be upfront with everybody. Again, when we saw everything unfold with Bill Gates, we understood that he had that in his prenups or whatever documents they drafted. He had that written out from the jump. And so I think as long as you up front as a man, as long as you up front with your woman and you saying, hey, this is what it is, this is what I'm gonna do. What's his name? Not Robin Williams. Gosh, I can't think of his name. God bless him too. House Party, but he said, I'm gonna be where I'm at. I'm gonna be where I'm at. Don't ask where I'm at. As long as you have those stipulations laid out for for your woman and that's how you lead in your relationship, then it's cool. So yeah, it's okay for you to play as long as you take home, but as men, you got to make sure you taking care of home.
You know what? I'm gonna do a chop up of all of your lingo that you do, Rilla. You got so many different words that you use. Go ahead, Corey. Do your thing, baby.
To JR, I don't think women or all women were just okay with their husbands back in the day. The thing was they never left. So there were women that were like my grandmother who used to go to the woman's house, drag him, beat her up, and bring him home. And she used to do that a lot of times, she told me, but she never left. She had 8 kids. So she wasn't okay with it. But then the older women on my mother's side would say that their husbands will every weekend would go to their girlfriend's house. But every Friday they would go to their boyfriend's house. It's just, I don't know about a Southern thing, but that's what happened back in the day. So some women were fine with it because they had their own boyfriend. Some women weren't, like my grandmother who beat up the whole city. But the thing is they never left. They never left their husband in spite of or regardless of. So I think that's important too. They just didn't leave. But
yeah, I think that is important. They stuck around because they didn't want to disturb the family.
Right.
But they don't want the kids.
I hear you, Court. Long hair don't care. Okay.
She straightened it out today.
All right, Kay. It's okay for him to play as long as he takes care of home. Your thoughts?
While we're talking about this, I'm thinking about like, how can we say it's okay for infidelity within a marriage, but it's not okay to support a child who may be gay? Like, how is this?
What
like,
are you talking about, Kay? What are you talking about?
Just let me finish talking and you'll maybe understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, really? I am a C student. You are right.
What I'm talking about is all this infidelity, all these kids all over the place, all of these things are definitely negatively affecting our communities, definitely negatively affecting people. But that's cool. Like, how is that okay?
Well, first, we're talking about back in the day where families did not break up regardless of what was going on. And the thing about the men that did have other children, those children were taken care of too. So it might have been one household or another household, but the fathers took care of those kids. And we're talking about kids and sexuality. The thing is, you can't be gay or lesbian without talking about sex. It is never okay to talk about sex and children in the same form. So that's why. You can't be gay without saying a sexual preference. So that's the issue. With D-Wade and his child, I think he's 12 now, but before when he was 9, 10.
I don't know if Zaya said that she was gay or not. I just know about the trans situation. Do you know? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I might have heard it. I don't know. I don't want to say it definitely. But what I'm talking about, kids and sexuality. They should not. We should not be saying, yeah, you're gay and they're 10. No.
I mean,
it's sexuality. You can have an attraction, but you have to understand as a parent, okay, you have these feelings, talk it out, but just going in and saying, labeling your kid as gay as a child, that's what's detrimental.
Well, same as you just said, I have no idea what Zaya's sexuality is. I have no idea, but I'm talking more so about about her being a trans girl. How can we not accept that, but we can accept our dads, grandpas, whatever?
Because it's delusional.
Hey, Courtney, as soon as you answer that question, let's get back on topic after.
How can we be cool with people breaking the covenant of marriage? I thought a lot of y'all were really into the Bible.
Okay.
What?
The question is, it's okay for him to play as long as he takes care of home.
No, it's not okay. I mean, I don't understand how we're going into this. It's okay as long as he. What? I mean, don't.
You know how you see how she got a strong stance on this, but she ain't have no opinion whatsoever, on the fence. Hard to get an answer out of her on the last subject, but it just depends on whatever it is that she aligns with. Is where she's gonna take a hard stance. And if you talk to somebody long enough, or you let them talk, they'll reveal exactly who they truly are. Go ahead, do your thing.
Okay, Anton. The reason that I was not having a strong stance on someone else's specific relationships is a lot different than this general question of, is it okay for him to play? Like, let's not act like that's the same thing, because it's not. It's literally not. You're asking me how I feel about D Wade's marriage. I don't know D Wade. So yeah, I don't have a strong opinion because I have no idea.
Nobody asked you about D Wade's marriage. We asked you a question related to how he's living his life and what he's advocating for, and him using his own situation as an example to illustrate a lifestyle. It had nothing to do with his marriage per se. But I think that you're smart enough to catch that. I'm a C student and I caught it, so I know you smart enough to catch it.
I am not going to say that it's wrong to be a member of the LGBTQI community. I'm never going to say that's wrong. How can I say that? Are you saying that that's wrong, Anton? You think it's wrong to be gay? You think it's wrong to be trans? Yes or no?
Okay, I absolutely hold on, because I'm not one to mince words. I ain't never been the type of person that's gonna pull back. I ain't political. I don't say what people want to hear. I absolutely think that it's wrong. Do I feel as though people can live their life however they want to live it? Absolutely they can. But at the same time, I don't have to accept it. I don't have to accept it.
You don't.
And if you asking me if I think it's wrong, I absolutely 100% unapologetically think it's wrong.
What are you basing that on? The Bible?
This is not even a question that we're supposed to be talking about right now. I just answered it to please you.
I'm just asking you because you said that you think it's wrong. What makes you think it's wrong?
Okay, well, I'm asking you the question. The question was, it's okay for him to play as long as he takes care of home.
No.
You said no, right? Let me finish. Let me finish. Like you said, let me finish. Let me finish. I asked the question. You said no. So I'm asking you why. You stand on topic.
Okay. So why do I not think it's okay for him to play as long as he takes care of home? I mean, in my situation, I don't think that's okay because there is trust, there's commitment, there are all these things that go into the relationship being successful. So no, it's not okay to break all those things so that you can do whatever you want as long as you take care of home. Absolutely not. For me. Some people are cool with that, and that's okay for them. It's not okay for me, but it's okay for them, and I can't.
Okay, I want to ask you this. Say that someone's in a relationship, or say someone's married, right? And the guy, and it's proven that, back in the day that guys would go out and mingle. They would always take care of home, but they would go out and mingle. So fast forward to now, let's just say that the same situation happened. If they have 2 kids, would you say that the woman should stick it out, that she should work it out, or should she leave because you don't?
Absolutely. I think that cheating is a thing that is not, I mean, in my opinion, it's not a,
It's just sex.
Right. In my opinion, cheating is not a deal breaker for a marriage. I mean, in my opinion, it's just not. I mean, there are worse things you can do than have sex with somebody. Like, I don't think that cheating and having sex with somebody is the end all be all. Oh my goodness, the relationship's over. I mean, if some people think that, that's okay for them. But for me, I don't think that. And the reason I don't think that is because when you sign up for a marriage, you are in it forever. If you don't plan on being in it forever, through the ups, through the downs, through the whatever happens, you shouldn't be getting married. And my thing about that is, like, that's my opinion. I mean, people can always, get a divorce, do whatever they want, but that's my opinion. I do not think that anything outside of literal abuse is grounds for ending a marriage. I'm fully in support of people who don't want to get married. They just want to kind of have long-term relationships, whatever. That's fine. I have no negative thoughts about that. But if you're crossing over into that marriage situation, in my opinion, you should absolutely stick through everything that is not abuse. You should figure it out.
Hey, Anton, it's okay for him to play as long as he takes care of home.
I'm gonna say no. And the reason why I'm going to say no is because, number one, I look at everything from a business perspective. And I just dropped a video today on my other channel that said that side chicks is bad for business. And I honestly believe that if you're about your bag, because I live my life according to what I would want my daughter to marry when she get older. And that's the biggest thing. It's I understand that people make mistakes. I understand that situations happen, but I don't align myself with what everybody else normalizes, right? Again, I think it's bad for business. I think it's a bad example for what I would want my daughter to marry. And that's the way I go about looking at things. Very logical, very intentional. And so I move that way. Does that mean that dudes don't have mistakes? Absolutely, it don't mean that, because like I indicated earlier, when DJ Envy had his situation, nobody killed him for that. Nobody came at him for that, because it happens. You know what I'm saying? Guys, the reason why guys and girls cheat is for different reasons, and guys can be prisoners of the moment. I don't advocate for side chicks, because now you're pouring into and building a whole new relationship, right? That means you got to spend time, which is your currency, in order to, do that thing. And I'd rather spend my time and currency and building in my own household, right? I'd rather spend my time and currency going out and getting to the bag. I don't have time to allocate towards a whole nother human being. But as far as like a one-off or a situation or something like that, in most instances, for most guys, you got to be looking for it. For most guys, it just don't happen like that. You literally got to be out searching for a situation. If you find yourself in a situation that just happens, it was a moment, forget about it, move on. It was what it was. But if you out here searching for a whole nother chick and you're not busy enough. You don't have enough in your schedule that would say that you need to be on your grind, you need to be on your hustle, you need to be focused on this, focused on that. I don't have time to entertain another chick, bro. Like, I'm so dedicated to what it is that I need to be doing that women are an afterthought. Like, even my own wife, she be hitting me up like, Anton, okay, our anniversary is this date. Promise me you're not gonna be working. You need to reschedule stuff, because I'm fighting with her like, no, we got to do this, we got to take care of that. Like, I don't even have time to entertain as much as I need to my own household. So why would I allocate time for a whole nother bust down that don't mean anything to me? And in most instances, if it translates into anything outside of that, it's bad business, it's bad optics, it's bad for my brand, it's bad for everything that come along with it. So I'm gonna say no in that. I don't think that it's a deal breaker when it comes to marriage at all, not even a little bit, because I don't even believe in divorce like that, except for extreme situations or if she just don't want to be there. But I'm an advocate against spending your time not doing anything that's not being conducive to your life. And getting your cock wet is not, that ain't no big deal.
Ashley, it's okay for him to play as long as he's taking care of home.
Well, for me, it definitely wouldn't be okay. I think we have to be a little bit more practical. Like, in this day and age, you got women who are real kind of free with their bodies. People aren't using protection. Like, you could bring something home. You could bring STD home. Like, and that's horrible. That's horrible to do to the woman that you are supposed to be leading and that you love. I think that, bringing in children complicates things. It's just not fair. Like, I have heard stories too about, my great grandfather who had a whole other family, and I think we have to remember that there are some residual issues that come with that. You got siblings who don't know each other. It just complicates things. And I also think that it's important to be real about, like what Courtney was saying. I appreciate her saying that, they weren't necessarily, our grandmothers weren't necessarily okay with it. They did it because there was so much at stake. Women then weren't working. Well, some of them were working, but they weren't the breadwinners in the family. They relied heavily on their husbands financially. And then you have kids. You don't want to break up the family, you know, for the kids. Like, there's just so much at stake. It's not that they were okay with it. I don't think that's true. And I don't think women just automatically one day started being okay with it. I think that it was always an issue, but we have to remember that, you know, when you have dedicated so much time, so much of your life to a man, you know, you have kids with him, you're invested. Like, it's hard to just walk away from that. So, you know, and even with all that said, to each their own, you know, to each their own. You know, I'm not telling anybody what they should do in their marriage, but I will call out, you know, hypocrisy. You know, like, you can't talk about, you know, a godly relationship on one hand, but then turn around and kind of flip it. The Bible is very clear about fornication, and very clear about adultery, and very clear about one man having one wife. So I think you will have to be consistent with that, with your.
So I just want to ask a question to a lot of the gentlemen that may be watching this. Why is it not enough to have the option? Like, I have the option to go and buy whatever I want. Do I just run out and buy whatever I want just because I can afford it? No, you don't. You have to exercise discipline. Men that exercise discipline, men that are not led by everything that they want to do, are 10 times more successful. As a matter of fact, it's a fact. Men that say no generally have more sex. So my question always comes back to, why are we not paying attention to the examples that we see on an everyday basis? Bill Clinton got impeached as a result of the bad optics that came along with him doing what he do, right? Bill Gates, his whole legacy is based off of, now every story that's coming out, different chicks at the investment firm, at Microsoft, and all of this other type of stuff, is tainting his legacy. Why would you want anything to get in the way of what you spent an entire lifetime building? It's just common sense. It's logic. And so my thing always is, if you can't look at it from a moral perspective, find another way to force you to focus on the thing that actually is going to propel you to be successful. I don't need anything coming in and messing up what I got going on. I don't need no distractions. I need you to focus on what I'm saying. I need you to focus on the message. I need you to focus on the legacy that I'm trying to build. I don't want nobody coming behind and having a longer conversation about the things that I did in over one day versus the things that I've been building towards for the last 40 years of my life. It's the dumbest thing for guys to lead with how they feel and what their desires are, instead of being more disciplined, because you'll become richer, have more sex, have a more fulfilled life, and your legacy will be greater as a result of you being focused. Yeah, you can do it. I can go out and have any chick that I want. And I know for a fact that I would not get divorced. Like, my chick wouldn't leave me if I go out and got another chick. That's just a fact. She watched the show. It ain't no secret. I live my life like an open book. Do I do it? No, because I'm okay with the fact that I got the option. That's enough for me. I don't need no more of that.
Anton, you know what? I watched your video that you posted today about the same thing, and I was in 100% agreement. You are absolutely right. That discipline is definitely going to help with your goals, with everything else. So I just want to say that.
No, but. Oh, okay.
No, but he's right.
I appreciate it, Kay.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, I know we don't agree on everything, but I definitely agree with that, because I feel like, and what Ashley was saying too, if you're following the Bible, you can't be like, I follow the Bible, but it's okay for men to commit adultery. What? That makes no sense. It's not okay. According to the Bible, it's not okay for men to commit adultery. So, and then Anton, same thing. You're doing all, you want to, say that men should be on their purpose and doing all this, but then advocating that they are out here just like haphazardly having sex and doing whatever with whoever. Like, that's a distraction. I mean, I agree with that.
I don't believe in messy.
General.
And then another thing is, like, the other caveat to that guys don't understand is, if I'm on my purpose, right? Because my chick never worries. Like, I take a lot of flights, I go out of town, I do a lot of things, right? If I'm on my purpose and she not worried about me even a little bit, that means that she can focus 100% of her energy on doing what she's supposed to do. None of that is being drained and taken away from her because she worried about me or she concerned about me, and now all of her energy is focused on whether or not, you know, because women are emotional, right? I might be detached, but women are a lot more emotional in that they make their decisions based off of that emotional connection. So the fact that my chick is 100% secure, yeah, she's secure, so she's out making sure things is taken care of, securing the bag. She's fully in her femininity. She's in her purpose. She's focused on school. She's taking care of business as a result of how I lead my household. It's about business first. All that feelings junk need to be cut out. It's time out for that. We too old, man. Like, most of the people that rock with us is over 30. Grow up. We had our time. We had an opportunity to do whatever we wanted to do. Now it's time to take care of business. There's legacies on the line. It's people that's coming after us that's going to need us as a result of the things that we did today. Do what you're supposed to do. Get your life in order.
Absolutely, Anton. I agree.
All right, Courtney.
1,000%.
Courtney, it's okay for him to play as long as he takes care of home.
It's okay to play for me. The optics of it is deception. So it's just as long as I'm able to take care of home, I can sneak and do whatever I want to, which I'm definitely in a disagreement with. Now, I do know different types of relationships where they do exercise options. I do know relationships where they have agreements, and those are, if your wife and husband is okay with different agreements, then it's not a play thing. You have an arrangement agreement, and that definitely takes away the deception of it. So.
Okay.
Right,
that was good. So I think we all agree. Gotta stay disciplined. A lot of people that watch the show, as you said, are 30 and above. And we got a few people that's under 30, but they can still get these gems too.